Welcome back to Mind the Snap. 2 Brits, 1 NFL obsession.
And slowly but surely, learning that American football isn't just something happening 4,000 miles away. It's growing right here on our doorstep.
And today, this is a big one, Snappers, because we're not just talking about watching the NFL anymore.
We're talking about building the game in the UK, like properly building it.
Have you ever sat on a Sunday watching Red Zone thinking, why don't we have more of this over here?
Well, today's guest, Snappers, is one of those people who's actually trying to make that happen.
Snappers, we've got Marvin Allen, General Manager of the London Warriors in the new European League, former player, former NFL environment guy.
As someone who's been involved in UK American football pretty much every step of the way, from grassroots all the way to the NFL.
We're buzzing for this because this isn't a football conversation.
This is about the sport and where that sport is going, in the UK, in Europe and beyond. So Marvin Allen, welcome to Mind the Snap.
Warrior Nation, Warrior Nation, learn to stand up. Warrior Nation, I'd build up. Semper Potare, yeah, Mind the Snap. Marvin Allen, let's get it. Look, black and gold when we step in the place. Everybody talks till they see our pace. Built from the ground, now I step in the pace. Warriors move to get out of the way. Marvin came through, done it all in the field. Now he's drawing the plans and he's making them real. No gimmicks, no hype, don't fake appeal. Just hardware, pressure and the iron will. Big man moves with a vision in sight. Feeling something different on the London's lines. Everybody wants smoke till it's game day night. And they're looking at the scoreboard, wondering why. Warrior Nation, tell them don't test us. Warrior Nation, we apply pressure. No gets louder. Semper Potare, fight even harder. Warrior Nation, Warrior Nation, all cities with us. Warrior Nation, nobody's bigger. This ain't luck, and it ain't by chance. This is years of graft and advancing the plan. Every rep, every yard, every bruise on the hand. Now the whole of Ripple, watching us advance from the
So Marvin, welcome to Mind the Snap. Let's start from the beginning, your origin story. How did you get into American football?
How did I get into American football? I'm a coach's son, right? So it's like in my family. Most of my, wouldn't call them, they're not family uncles, but my uncles, so to speak, the guys that I was around growing up, they played professional football. And I just fell into it, really. I was into athletics all the way through my childhood and just fell into playing receiver at my local team. And just kind of went from there.
And at that time, did it kind of feel realistic to pursue, or was it just the passion and love for the game that drove you on?
When you say pursue, you mean professional football?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
A career in this.
I wasn't really aware that I may have a future in the sport professionally until I was probably 15 or 16. At that time, there were... NFL Europe was around. There were a lot of international scouts, as there are today, looking for talented kids to play football. He was scouted and found to play in the Global Junior Championships. I don't know if you've ever heard of that competition. And I played my 4 or 5 years eligibility there up until I was like 19 and a half. I don't think I knew I would have an opportunity to play professional football probably until I was 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. In professional football, there are a lot of measurables that come with being able to compete at that level. And so, I didn't really start hitting those levels until I was probably 17, 18 years old.
Many role models in the UK back then when you were working your way through? Your main people, obviously family members, but...
There were tons of role models. Who were my role models? Probably Jeremy Sims and Roel Blenman. Yeah, those are the guys that, Adam Durdy is a good friend of mine. He was 4 or 5 years older than me. So, when I was 18, they were already playing professional football. So he had somebody to look up to and work out with and everything like that. But those are probably the closest things to my role models.
And was there that moment you thought this could actually be something serious there? Was there a liable moment, or was it just a natural progression over time?
I'm a natural competitor.
Yeah.
I would find myself on football fields as a young man, and it became clear to me that I had a shot during practices some days. With trying to remain humble. There were things that I was able to do that most people my age wouldn't be able to do, and I wasn't, because I had good mentors and I was from a football background, I wasn't intimidated by certain things, and that just put me in good stead.
That's that mindset difference, isn't it? That when you're always trying to catch up, it's difficult when you put yourself in a position of confidence and wanting to improve yourself.
Yeah, I just think, if you've grown up around it and the people that you grow up around have that type of mentality, then a lot of it rubs off on you. You know, I'd like to think that a lot of it is me, but maybe it's the influence of those mentors that I spoke to you about, you know.
Yeah.
But I've never really been one to shy down from or back down from a challenge. So yeah, like I said, there's not one particular moment where I felt like, oh, I'm going to be a pro, you know. But there are it's the accumulation of things that you're able to do that over time builds confidence, right? Demonstrated ability builds confidence, and everything else is just arrogance. So yeah,
You've got to have that little bit of arrogance, haven't you? You've got to have that self-belief, and that it's a fine line sometimes, but it's got to be there to hit the next level.
You do, and that doesn't apply to just sports, right? That's just a life thing. Like,
Life is still, yeah.
you have to believe in your own, so to speak. Otherwise, it can be difficult because there are so many people out there that would naysay, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And to be honest, though, it's how many people in the UK were saying, "Why aren't you playing proper football?"
Not many, not in my
That's
circles
good.
anyway, because my
Yeah.
family and friends, you know, they've been very successful in both the amateur game and in professional football. So there are not too many people in my circle that were telling me I should play a different sport. I just mean from a perspective of any athlete that's playing and trying to get to that level, there are always naysayers, if that makes sense. But not necessarily people in my circle, just, you know, outside of my circle.
There'll always be those greenland monsters everywhere.
Go through when you make that jump, right? The quality in player, the amount of time spent in preparation is just a completely different level, right? So it's just an eye opener for me. I'd been around it because, like I said, my mentors had played professionally. I kind of knew what was coming, but until you've lived it, you really don't understand. It's one of those things like fatherhood or something like that. You know, you can anticipate what it's like, but
Until you're doing it, I guess. Yeah.
it's just a radically different thing, you know. So
Yes, and when you played in Europe, what was we see on TV ourselves, and we've seen games where the standard is in the comparison of standards between Europe and the NFL. What was the standard like when you started playing in Europe compared to what the UK standard was at the time?
I'm assuming you were referring to NFL Europe and then
Yes.
to the NFL.
Yeah.
Radically different. NFL Europe was a step from playing, you know, amateur, you know, global championship under 19 football, amateur federation football, to NFL Europe was massive, huge. But going from NFL Europe to the NFL is just another thing
I
entirely.
can imagine. Yeah.
The NFL is just a different kettle of fish entirely. And I find it's difficult because I get this question, you know, it's difficult to explain. It's just different in every single way. Like in every single way. It's the way the operations of the franchises, the level of athlete, the complexity of the playbooks, all of that stuff. I mean, it's difficult to put into words because with you guys, with all due respect, you don't have reference point. And because I don't know you well enough to understand your journey, you know, and something that you've done in your life, it's just very, very difficult to kind of explain. But it is the obvious, like players are that much faster, that much bigger, that much taller. You know, you have to learn to lip read because there's a difference between 40,000 people in a stadium and 80, you know, so it's just all of those little things that you can imagine that you just have to transition and go through that, you know?
Yeah, and what we see from the TV aspects of the circus that goes around with it, the amount of media on the sidelines, it's not just around the supporters watching you, there's cameras everywhere. Everything you do is what
and some people enjoy that side of the game, others don't. I don't necessarily enjoy that side of it, so over time I just, you know, I have the ability to just turn that off. Like I can, at any point in time, I can just switch that off. But some people enjoy it, some people thrive with it, but it wasn't something that I fancied even handling, so I would just turn that off. And it just became about, how am I going to get the next catch? How am I going to get open? How am I going to block this guy? How are my feet situated? Am I getting off on the snap count? That's what I did anyway.
Love that.
Love it. Yeah. So obviously there's a lot of things you brought back from those experiences, which are helping you progress the UK game into the new European game. What are some of the big lessons that you feel that are needed here to make the European experience that little bit better?
On the field, or are you talking off the field?
Both. So in terms of all the preparation, the the way?
Preparation. If we're talking about the football team, the players, if we're talking about that, for them, it's just, it's about point of origin and destination, right? First things first is we have to open their eyes to kind of what their current football culture is, and also at the same time where it is they're going or trying to, where they're trying to be.
Yeah.
And then it's just about putting things in place to allow them to thrive, allow them to manage their lives. It's all the things that come with being a professional team in terms of completely new level of commitment from the players and staff and everybody involved. It's professional, so you can pay people to do that, and it does have some benefits, but at the same time it's exactly what you think it is, right? It's how many players of quality can we get on the football field, how can we prepare them, when are our practice days going to be, how much film are we going to send them, how are we going to train the algorithm to kind of like take over what they're seeing in their cell phones and everything like that, because we have to do that just to make sure that they're just constantly breathing and watching football at all times. And what's more, that it's the football and the techniques that we want them to see. It's everything. For the most part, the biggest thing the biggest obstacle with the players anyway is just literally changing the culture. And a lot of that is, like I said earlier in the other segment, is some of it you can't change until it's changed. You have to go to Rhine, you have to play Rhine to be comfortable playing Rhine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
There's
a lot of preparation that you can do to help that be easier, But when the step that is so, or the mountain is that high, it's the shell shock. You want that shell shock to come early, so that people understand. Okay, this is what it is on and off the field. This is the game day experience. Like this is the level of opposition that we're going to go against. And for the most part, I can't fault anybody, because they're grabbing hold of it. We had an opportunity to get into this level of football. Huge step, not just one player at a time, but a whole entire organization. And they're doing what I'm asking them to do. So, I'm a big believer there's enough UK talent, both coaching and staff and players, that it is a matter of time before we turn that corner. But I think it did require a bit of a leap, and it requires a group of men and women or an army of people who are prepared to do that, to take that on. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people type of thing. We needed to just kind of stick our hand in the mud and go.
Organizational mind shift, isn't it? It's that you becoming that unit, becoming that everybody buys into that belief. If you get weak parts of the game, then the whole game suffers.
I think so.
Everyone's got to buy into that journey.
I think so. We have to buy in, and I think, if I'm honest with you, I think the nation has to buy in.
Yeah.
If you watch British American football, it has its upside, a lot of strong points to it, a lot of good people doing a lot of good work, but we don't really understand en masse. Not that there aren't people who understand, but en masse, we're not really quite grasping what American football culture is. And so this just gives us an opportunity to see it, and a lot of people will see it at the same time. And I'm hoping that their experiences through osmosis will trickle down, and maybe hope the overall culture of the game.
Become that catalyst for that.
I hope so.
Growth.
I hope so. There are a lot of good people doing a lot of good things. I'm not trying to be negative in any way, but we do have to realize that what we do and what in general is the market standard for what football is are different things.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
So, Marvin, in this segment, we're going to cover the London Warriors. So let's talk about the big one. General manager of the London franchise. How does this all come about?
I've been CEO of the charity, the not-for-profit side of our football, Federation Football, for maybe 4 or 5 years. We, as you know, have had some success playing in the top division of our Federation Football. Enjoyed it. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we started to get some opportunities to go and, jump into the big leagues, so to speak. It wasn't so much that we weren't ready for it at the time, but more the leagues themselves didn't seem sustainable at the time. And we wanted to get into something which focused mainly on homegrown athletes and being a little bit more sustainable. So different salary cap rules and all of these things.
Yeah.
And this time round, maybe, I don't know, January, February, it was pretty late in the day, we had the AFLE reach out to us. They were adamant that they had a London market, or a team in the London market. And like I said to you, our organisation is about providing, everybody has their haters and everything, but we're about providing opportunities for people the best way we can. And it became difficult to say no, is the truth, because the nation was kind of starving for a jump start or something new. I think personally, everybody within the organisation was on board with it. So it really just becomes due diligence, all the legal red tape that we have to go through, and we pulled the trigger. We pulled the trigger and just jumped into it. We're fully aware that there's going to be a culture shock that we have to go through. Yeah. But we're hoping that the platform will provide for people across the nation, not just players, but coaches. It really is. I know we have our rivalries within Federation football, but the intent there is to just create another platform for people to get into it, professional coaching, media, socials, content creation. I want to be a corner. I want to play professionally. I'm 21. What can I do? I played at the NFL Academy and I didn't get a scholarship, but I still want to keep playing for just all of those little things, just to add to the good things that are already happening in Federation football. What with Buck seeming to be pushing forward, just little things like that. I just thought it would be something that would be good, not just for our organisation, but for football. In the wider.
Just like that touch paper, just see it grow. Be a fantastic journey to be part of, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So for our listeners, as you've said, around the culture and the way things are structured in the NFL and things, what does the GM role mean on a day-to-day basis?
What does it mean on a day-to-day basis? I mean, just everything. You're just involved in everything, from preparing the team, evaluating the roster, performance, who's going to stick around, who's not going to be able to stick around. You get injuries, right? You have to fulfill the needs there and be fully involved in the scouting and everything with the head coach and with the coordinators on the team. You're involved in kind of, true sponsorships, sitting down with corporate entities about how can they get involved and what is it they receive in return in terms of views and streams and likes and followers and all of that jazz. What we call barter deals with smaller companies who would gain in some way from our exposure, and we get small things in return, nutritional supplements, small things like that. But it really, as a GM, you're involved in everything. We do have head of operations, and we have guys who head up. I don't run point on some of the commercial deals that we're getting into, but you kind of oversee everything. Is the truth from flight itinerary and chartering jets. I mean, it's everything.
Yeah,
it's everything.
No wonder they always look so stressed on TV.
Yeah, I know. I got some jip for that. I did a pre-game interview when the Panthers came to play us, and the guy just caught me in another dimension. And I think he asked me a question. I don't even think I answered this question. I think I just answered a question. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't the right answer.
Yeah.
And that can happen sometimes. There's just so much going on, But yeah, it's everything. It really is everything. I think that's why they call it a general manager. Is the truth. I've not been a general manager before. I'm just leaning on my experience to put us in a good situation. I think thus far we've managed to do that, playing some super overpowered teams in the Panthers and in the Fire. And I think we've shown that there's definitely potential there. That's the feedback that I get from other GMs across the league. So yeah, I think the trajectory is still upward. I think we just got to keep pushing through it. Yeah,
that's what I was going to talk about. That with the first couple of games, the results wise on paper, two newcomers to the sport don't see they've been good. But as you said, two powerhouses, and with two experienced powerhouses came to play. From a performance perspective, are you seeing good progression and a lot of good things you can take away and build on?
I'm seeing progression. There's a lot of good things that we can build on.
Yeah.
like I said, it's just how fast, how rapidly can we turn that corner. But there are definitely good things about what we're doing. Most certainly good things. But I think, in the first game, we couldn't cope from a communication perspective. There's just more fans there. We're just not quite hearing. Formation matching is much more difficult. And we blew some coverages in that game. It cost us the game. I think the second game, we were better prepared. But then you go to another level, right? Rhine Fire on another level.
Yeah.
And just the entire situation got on top of us a little bit. But I couldn't fault any of the guys. I just knew this would happen. I prepped them for it. I think anybody who really kind of even understands football remotely understands that you can't go, with all due respect, again, I don't mean this to be negative, I really don't, but you can't go from Federation football to playing against the Rhine Fire and expect an easy time of it, so to speak. So are there positives? Definitely. Coaching staff, players, off the field, marketing. It's definitely getting better.
I think from your side, you just want to see that they've learned from those things, isn't it? It's about that mindset and culture change that happens with the players.
Yeah, I mean, they need to learn technically, but also you watch them. Part of the assessment is how do they react to that?
Yeah.
Because if you can't react, or can't control your reaction when you're in negative scenarios, you're not going to be a high quality football player or coach. You have to be able to dig your way out of that. You have to kind of be able to look inwardly and kind of assess yourself to a certain degree. So for me, it's about their improvements on the field, but it's also just about the attitude that I see hit the practice field, which has been super positive.
Yeah, it's those three main aspects, isn't it? It's talent, culture, and infrastructure, really, to make sure that all three of those items are all as good as they can be.
Yeah, that's what I'm there for, and I help guide them because I've seen it before, and some of them haven't seen any of it before. And tried to get some veteran coaches in who have been there before, whose experience is outside of my own even. And that's what we're trying to do. I fully expect for us to win games this season, and I'm hoping that it will come sooner than most fans think it will.
So what does success look like for you for year one?
I mean, I got asked this question the other day. Success for me is just to turn the corner.
Yeah.
To have the communication between myself, senior members of staff, and the players be pure and constant. That we're here for the culture. We are soldiers in that war, and we are going to fight and fight and fight until we turn the corner. Because it's not really just about us, but it's about everybody and everything that comes after us. Whether that's the next GM or that's the next middle linebacker, that's what we're here to do. So success for us is ensuring that every penny of investment, cash, is well spent. There'll be no laziness. We're not running to the ball. Going to have a problem. Just all of those things, and just engaging and maximizing our potential. If we have, for example, 1,000 fans right now, then we need 2,000 by next week. I don't put a ceiling on our success. It's just maximizing everything all of the time.
Yeah, that's a great way
I
to
think that's that cliche 1%, right? They say that 1% better. I mean, it is cliche, but really, that's what football is. It's just how much better can we get?
Has to be. Yeah. So if you set yourself those imaginary targets, then you're not set and you meet them after 3 games. Is that it? Your season's over. If you set yourself the inner targets of progression, of growth, of competing, of everything together, then you just keep that same target moving and moving and moving, don't you?
Exactly.
So Marvin, in this segment, we want to cover the community for the Warriors, the initiatives and what's next. So obviously there's lots happening on the field, but obviously off the field matters just as much. What's up next? How can people get involved? What should fans be keeping an eye on over the next year with the Warriors?
We're talking the overall community. You must understand that there's a clear line of separation between the Warriors charity and the Warriors professional team. They are linked, of course they are, but we treat them separately. The charity will continue to, try to provide a platform for kids, women in sport, all of the same things. In terms of our initiatives, it really just becomes the same. It's no new initiative for the charity, if I'm honest with you. It's just about, that is the most sustainable thing that we have. We want to maintain a presence in federation football, so we're not forgetting where we came from. And obviously we service different age groups, hundreds more people in the game. So there's no real initiative, a new initiative. There'll be a lot of smaller fundraisers through the professional team to provide, and to put money into that platform, because we understand that that's our lifeline in creating players at grassroots level. But overall, what things to look out for as a fan is just the games and the announcements coming down and just giving feedback on the game day and what things we could do better. There are no new initiatives. It's really about making sure that this platform, this new opportunity that we have, is run to the best of our ability. And we provide for as many people as possible, including the fans. So it really is just look out for all of the marketing that comes out, all of the invites. We'll have some, trying to arrange some, in the bye week, some, I won't say their names, but, some kind of outdoor events where we can all get together as fans and players and things like this. So there are things to look out for. I know that Rose is running some competitions and everything to get some more fan engagement. But right now it's all hands on deck. For Alpine at the weekend, we're a big organisation and we have quite a lot of firepower, whether that's seen or unseen, we do. But at the same time, we have to understand that this is a massive step for us. And so, we've left the charity in good stead financially and with the people running it, But other than that, it really is, we need to be a professional football team and we need to turn that corner as soon as possible. In a lot of ways we have, but we just need to see that. We need to see that on the field and we need to get a win and we need we need the fans to buy into that journey. Because I think right now, if I'm honest, I think they see it as a kind of event day, kind of like a Beyonce concert or something like that. And it's not. This is our journey. We were adamant that the London Warriors name be used so that we could at least try to represent our federation in a positive way. Instead of it just being another team that just comes in and kind of steps over federation football. So we've tried to do that, and we will continue to push and push and push and push until basically the nation is happy with us as their representative. I don't know how that happened, but we'll sure anyway, buddy.
It's that mission statement, isn't it, rather than a initiative? So this is what we do. And what we're going to continue to do.
This is it. It's difficult to have an initiative when you're struggling to get out of the pool. You know what I mean? When you've got your life jacket on. Initiatives come when you're standing at the side of the pool. And right now, it's just about we're in a war, and we're gonna fight and fight and fight and fight until we're happy with the result. That's what it is.
So final round, Marvin, is just a quick fire round. Off the top of my head, best player you've ever played with?
That I've ever played with? Heinz Ward.
Cool. Yeah. Toughest opponent you've ever faced?
Played against?
Yeah, played against, yeah.
I don't know. Carolina Panthers?
Yeah.
One upcoming UK player that everyone should watch out for?
Steph Aditsa.
NFL team you secretly keep an eye on?
Secretly keep an eye on.
Or your team, to be honest.
I don't keep an eye on anybody. I don't secretly keep an eye. I watch the Seattle Seahawks. My friend is a coordinator there. I'm a Steelers fan.
Nice.
If you could bring one NFL player to your team right now, who would be your pick?
I don't really know, is the truth.
Who would make the biggest difference to the Warriors right now?
Biggest? Aaron Donald?
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's it from us this week, so make sure you follow, subscribe, all the usual podcast bits.
Yep, and you can find us on X at MindTheStatPod, on TikTok at MindTheStatPodcast, on Instagram, again, MindTheStatPodcast. We appreciate every single download, message, share, and let now listen. Yep, enjoy the game, enjoy the moments, mind the stat.